my first guest. Destiny Senpai has a passion for all things anime and manga. She turned that passion into a podcast and created the Getting Animated podcast. It's a weekly show that covers all the latest news on everything manga and anime. And it's a podcast that's heard in over 41 countries now. And Destiny even gets to work with Crunchyroll on a regular basis. She now has her dream job. So welcome to the show, Destiny Senpai. Hello.
Hi.
What do you think of the fact that anime is now in the mainstream?
I love it. From someone who used to watch like Naruto and like all these anime on YouTube, and you have to find the parts and kind of go through hoops and hurdles just to watch anime. I love that it's so accessible now. I appreciate it because now I can show stuff to my mom. I just went over to my parents' house the other day and I was like, Mom, do you know like season 4 of Attack on Titan just came out? And she's like, no. And she has Hulu. And she's able to stream Attack on Titan in English dub and watch it and enjoy it. So it means a lot to me that it's able to be so accessible to everybody. And the fact that we're all able to watch it and we don't have to buy VHSs anymore or do all the crazy hurdles that we did in the past. I think it's really dope. And I think the next generation is able to appreciate it, not only with their parents and their friends, but just like, as like it's easier for them as well. Like it's crazy because it felt like it was never going to happen at one point.
No, exactly. And also, I mean, even if you didn't have access to that stuff and you were just watching it on like Adult Swim, stuff was coming on Adult Swim out of order. You know? Yeah. So like, I remember watching Bleach out of order going, what is happening? Like,
yeah, it's like your parents would tell you to go to bed. It's like, no, like you had to sneak to watch it. It was rough at one point.
How do you navigate these shows that you like 90% of the characters, but one of them is racist AF? So,
well, that's a very good question because I've combated with that a lot in my own personal feelings on how I was watching a show and then I'd see something and I'd be like, oh, like I want to just take to the streets and be angry and not watch the show anymore. But it's a good show, you know, and I still like it. So I kind of separate it as like a mental thing. Like, yeah, I see this character and I'm not really a fan of this character, but I had look at it as a whole picture. And like you said, they have definitely gotten better. Promise Neverland, yes, we have Sister Cronin. In the manga, she looks really scary. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, here she is. No, here it is. We got a picture of her. Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. It's from a child's perspective. It's supposed to be from someone who's much, much smaller than her. But it's like
of course. And my thing is, it's like I really like Sister Cronin. I genuinely do. I know she looks that way. And like the manga, she looked terrible. That's kind of another reason why I can't really read the manga because it does make me feel uncomfortable. I feel like they did her character in the anime a lot better. But like you said, it just kind of takes a bite in the bullet. You know what I mean? Like you gotta uplift the characters that look great so they know. Like Japan sees, like, okay, well, we did this the right way, you know, like, yes, Fire Forest, yes, The Great Pretender, Dorothy, like, yes, we could keep getting more characters that look like them and kind of shift and change the perspective a little bit because we can't be having characters that look like, you know, scary creatures when everybody else in the cast looks normal.
And honestly, and I agree with the picking and choosing because Carol and Tuesday, another one, did a great job with a lot of the characters of color. The queer characters, not so much. So it's like, but I feel like we have to keep, well, on both of our platforms, I feel like we have to keep talking about it. So, and we can tell people, listen, this is a really great show, but this right here is a problem. And I think through social media, the creators watch. I'm sure you have manga creators and anime creators that listen to your podcast or look at your feed now. So I think if you are vocal enough about it, that changes can get made. Now, my guest this segment, Brian Tong, is a host and creator that brings his own energy and unique style to showcase the latest and greatest in tech and geek and pop culture. He's appeared on GMA, CNN, CBS, local TV stations, and radio networks all over the place, where he has intimately covered the space for 15 years. I first saw him on CNET. Now, he's an independent media creator and has recently been a host during the Insider NBA on TNT. I believe that's sports ball. I don't know. He's also been a host for Facebook's Outside Your Bubble interactive game show and a co-host for DC Universe, also where I saw him. He has his own YouTube channel and his own podcast, Apple Bits XL, where he talks about the latest in technology and culture. He loves tech, gaming, and all of the cool geekdom, including comics. We're going to be talking about a little bit of all of that, and maybe I can get some tech support for this old iMac here while he's here. His friends call him BTZ, but he's also called the Asian Usher. I'm going to ask about that. Welcome to the show, Brian Tong.
Ooh, that's an introduction.
I believe it was Rogue Squadron that dropped. Dude. I was like, wait, what is happening? Yeah, it's funny because it's the same director of is the other thing as Wonder Woman. So that was something else I peeped. I had Hector Navarro on the show the other day. We were talking about, like, you know, Star Wars versus Star Trek, Marvel versus DC, and he's like, you can have both. So you know, it's. And they do, like, you know, they all have lunch with each other. So I found that absolutely fascinating. I think, what do you think about this, all of this for Disney Plus as an entity? Yeah, the price is going up. We saw that. It's going to have to, because they got to pay for 9,000 films. But what do you think about the price going up and what they're positioning themselves to do?
So, you know, I know I deviated from your broad stroke thing, but that was the first thing I was going to talk about, is that Disney Plus is a service now. If you either have a family or you like one of those single 4 brands, Disney Animation, Pixar, Marvel, or Star Wars, it's a must-have service. You have there's no reason not to get that service, right? Now, the thing that also is really interesting is everyone's been wondering, what is Disney going to do in response to when HBO Max and Warner, whether the creators and directors liked it, but as consumers loved it, put down the hammer and they're like, hey, we're going to release all of our movies on HBO Max at no additional cost in the US while releasing it in movie theaters. I was like, damn, HBO Max is a must-have. But once all this quarantine, the vaccine starts rolling out, we're not anywhere close to going back to a movie theater comfortably. I'm not, at least. You know, HBO Max is going to try this out for a year. Most likely, they're going to pull back on that after this year. Okay. Disney Plus is like, this is the place to be. The interesting thing they also didn't do is they never said, Black Widow, we're going to put it on Disney Plus. Disney knows the fandom is so loyal. They're not going to leave Disney Plus. Disney gave us a reason for people who have been kind of like, to now get Disney Plus. And even if they did Black Widow with that Premier Access where you put $30 down, the fans would still do it. Such strong IP and properties, they don't feel it's not going to hurt them to not put it out there, even though the fans want it. The fans were still just as excited with all these announcements without getting anything.
No,
so that's the power of the brand.
Right. It is the power of
what
brand.
Disney did, right?